Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report's live 2013 election coverage. I'm Laura Lindsay Tatum.
And I'm Sarah Jean Vallon. We will be with you throughout the night, bringing you updates on statewide as well as local elections at the top of the hour.
The polls have closed around the state and results are rolling in from statewide races as well as the smaller local races.
Let's take a look at the latest polling results from around the area.
Lately, things have been leaning red, which you can see here. Ken Cuccinelli is leading 53.63% of the vote. Behind him is Terry McAuliffe with 35.82%, and rounding out the group is Robert Sarvis with 9.44% of the vote. This is with 50% of precincts reporting.
And for Virginia Lieutenant Governor statewide results, with 27% of precincts reporting, we have E.W. Jackson with 51% of the vote and Robert Northam with 48%.
Looking now at the Virginia Lieutenant Governor Rockbridge County results, E.W. Jackson is leading with Ralph Northam, is leading with 48.55% of the vote, and E.W. Jackson is coming in with 51.25%, with 27.9% of precincts reporting.
And up next, we have Virginia Attorney General. Rockbridge County results with 50% of precincts reporting. Mark Obenshain is leading with 61% of the vote, and Mark Herring is following with 38%.
Our own Margaret Volsky is live at the Republican Party event tonight. She is with two-year Republican Executive Committee member Nancy Cusimano. Margaret? Margaret Volsky, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful. Tell us what's going on at Berkey's tonight. How are the Republicans doing?
I am here with Ms. Nancy Cusimano, who's been on the Executive Committee of the Republican Party in Lexington for 2 years. And she actually was at the polls today. What was your experience?
It was a steady flow of people that were coming in. But when it comes to where you live, where you think it was not many, but it was a good number for here.
And did you see many members of the Republican Party turning out to the polls today?
Well, I don't know whether they were Republican or not. Some of them took the information that I had handed out, and most of them, I think, knew who they were going to vote for as soon as they pulled into the driveway.
Great. And you saw, would you say, an average number of voters this year, or a bit more than average?
No, I think it's the same average. Yes.
Great. And we don't have all the results yet, but how are you feeling about the evening so far?
Well, I hope that Ken Cuccinelli and Mark Obenshain and E.W. Jackson, because we do need change, and we do need people who have principles and morals, and the three of them do.
Great. We'll check back in with y'all a little bit later, probably around 8 p.m. And we are back to y'all in the studio now. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Nancy.
Thanks for that, Maggie. Next hour on the Rockbridge Report, we'll be coming to you live from the Democratic headquarters in downtown Lexington with the latest reactions and results.
Stay tuned.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Ever wonder what makes us, the Smurfs, so happy? The forest, of course. This is where we, along with the beautiful forest creatures, make our home with beautiful plant life, clean water, and endless adventures. It's a place to celebrate. So discover the forest with your family today. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
David Thomas is back in the studio with me tonight. David is the co-host of WLUR's political show, Voices from the Middle. Thank you for joining us again.
Of course.
We're early on in the counting, but at this point, all major elections tend to be leaning red. Do you expect that this will hold, or can we expect changes as votes roll in over the night?
Right. I think this is very to be expected due to where these precincts are coming from, and that's largely from Western Virginia, where our voters are typically much more Republican. So it'll be very interesting to see as precincts roll in more towards the east, more towards Washington, D.C., where the votes will go. I would predict a much more Democratic turnout as you get closer to the city.
Now, the conventional wisdom in Virginia is that low voter turnouts tend to benefit Republicans, while high voter turnouts tend to benefit Democrats. Are we seeing that in play here, or are other issues working on the results currently?
I think that's definitely one of the key things right now, especially in the western part of the state. It'll be very interesting to see how independents will play into this rule. Many people have said that depending on how independents vote on the President's Affordable Care Act versus the government shutdown. If independents are upset over the government shutdown, more likely they'll vote for Terry McAuliffe. If they're upset over the President's Affordable Care Act, they'll vote for Ken Cuccinelli. So where those voters come from and where they vote will definitely be a key sign tonight.
Robert Sarvis, a Libertarian candidate, is pulling about 8 to 10% of votes away from Republican and Democratic candidates McAuliffe and Cuccinelli, according to some voters. How do you think his role in this race will affect the two major parties?
It'll be very interesting. Ken Cuccinelli's campaign said that over 5%, if Robert Sarvis receives over 5%, any of those votes will actually come from Cuccinelli. Under 5%, they'll be about split between the two camps. So if Robert Sarvis receives over 5%, that will be very detrimental to Ken Cuccinelli's campaign, as this race could really come down to the wire. But Ken Cuccinelli has done as much as he can recently to try and win back Libertarian voters. He even had Ron Paul back in the state a few days ago. So it'll be very interesting to see how that turns out.
Absolutely. Now, local candidates are listed in a nonpartisan way on the ballots unless they choose to be listed as a Democrat or Republican, but some do have strong Tea Party backing. How do you think that will play with Rockbridge voters?
Right. Well, one of the best things that Tea Partiers have been able to do in the past is get out the vote. They're very passionate. And so even if a candidate doesn't have a party next to his or her name, his supporters or her supporters are very passionate, and they'll go out and get the voters that they need. So I think that will definitely be in play with these local elections especially.
Another race that everybody's got their eye on tonight is New Jersey.
Yes.
How do you think things will end up for Chris Christie tonight?
Well, Chris Christie, it's not a matter of if he'll win, it's just a matter of by how much. Polls coming in from this morning, from yesterday, had him around 66 to 70%, and this will definitely be a big boost to him if he does decide to go to a national election. But that's a very exciting race in New Jersey for Republicans especially.
Absolutely. In the meantime, we'll be keeping our eye on Virginia. David Thomas, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we'll update you on the latest results. Stay with us.
So what you want to do is, have you already enrolled? You're doing fine.
What did that just do?
Select the drop-down menu again. Continue to sign. You're already enrolled. Example here, so don't panic. You're ready to make your payment. Submit. There it is.
Oh my God! I really can't believe I did it. That's awesome. Good for you.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back. Reporter Neil Haggerty is coming to us live from Rockbridge Democratic Headquarters with local committee chair Joe Scavira. Neil?
This is Neil Haggerty live at the Democratic Committee here in Rockbridge County. I'm here with Rockbridge County Democratic Committee Chair Joe Scavira. He's going to talk a little bit about general feelings here. What are the general feelings right now with the local Democrats here in the county?
I think we're very optimistic. We think Governor-elect, I hope, McAuliffe has run a good campaign. He has two good fellow candidates with him, and Dr. Northam, who, as you know, is a medical doctor, and Mark Herring for Attorney General. They've worked hard. I think the committee people in this area and throughout the state have worked hard. So we're pretty optimistic. But, you know, it's a tough battle. This is a swing state, as everybody tells you, and you won't know until the last vote is counted.
Now, talk a little bit about, you've got Delegate Ben Klein running unopposed. What are your thoughts on that, and what are the Democrats doing to kind of keep their voice in the House of Delegates?
Well, that's a great question, because you really need competition in democracy, and lately we just have not had it in the delegate area. Ben has been running unopposed. Ben is a pleasant guy. I like him. We talk to one another. But his votes have left a lot of us cold and left us a lot of us out of this democratic process. So we, I guess I'll take credit for running a little write-in campaign against Ben to give him some competition, and more importantly, to give the people in this area a second person to vote for. There's lots of people, if you check the statistics, in the past have not voted at all for that position. It's called the undervote. And we're trying to get those people to say, I will actually take the time, type in somebody's name. And I gave them a name, Jeff Price, who ran 4 years ago. He's a good man, a family man with a family business in Amherst County, and he would be a great delegate. So what we've done is said, if you want another person to vote for Jeff. So I'm really curious to see how many votes we get. No money, no campaign, no candidate. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, in the next hour, we'll be talking with Walker's Creek Supervisor Buster Lewis. He is expected to win the Walker's Creek Supervisor's election. Back to you. This is Neil Haggerty with the Rockbridge Report.
Thanks for that perspective, Neil. Glasgow still doesn't have results in yet, but we have some local results from the supervisors and school board races around the area. For the Carrs Creek Board of Supervisors, Russell Ford is leading with 53.66% of the vote and a strong lead over Chris Green at 36.59%, followed by Benjamin Swisher with 9.76% of the vote, and that's with 25% of precincts reporting.
For the Board of Supervisors Walker's Creek District, we have Richard Kopp with 39% of the vote, and with a strong lead, AW Buster Lewis has almost 60% of the vote, and that is with 40% of precincts reporting.
For the Carrs Creek School Board members race, Laurie Strong is in the lead with 55.65% of the vote, and close behind her is Tony McFadden Jr. with 42.94% of the vote.
For the school board member South River District race, Kevin Brooks is leading with 78% of the vote, and Jason Harris has 20% of the vote with 25% of precincts reporting.
And in the Virginia governor's race, We have statewide results coming in. Ken Cuccinelli remains in the lead with 51.94% of the vote, followed by Terry McAuliffe with 40.52% and Robert Sarvis at 7.26%. 27.9% of precincts are reporting at this point.
Virginia Governor Rockbridge County results are coming in. Ken Cuccinelli has a lead with 53.63%. Terry McAuliffe is following with 35% of the vote, and Robert Sarvis has approximately 10% of the vote, and that is with 50% of precincts reporting. Thanks for joining us on the Rockbridge Report. We'll be back at 9 o'clock with more updates. This is Election Day 2013. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on our website, rockbridgereport.wlu.edu, and our Twitter account, Rockbridge News, for the most recent numbers.